guys, good to see you here. Today we're going to show you how I do how I do a Seichem and Reiki healing for the client. So basically what I do first of all, there'll be another video for this, and in that video is how I protect the room. I put symbols up in the room and I put symbols at the door, how I cleanse the room also. So there's another video for that. But this video is specifically what I do and what I'd like you to do in a Seichem Reiki healing. So first of all, after I've protected the room, I make sure the client is comfortable. So obviously a pillow for the head, so it's comfortable there. Because if you don't have a pillow at the head, they get it, the neck just gets really crooked. So make sure it's a nice comfortable pillow. I also have a blanket coming over them, so they're nice and cozy. Because sometimes when some of the symbols we're using can cause cool air, hence why I have a blanket going in there. Then I also have a pillow under the knees, and also the client has no shoes on, because I'll be working with the feet and what have you as well. I make sure that the client's nice and comfortable before I start, and you always ask them, are you comfortable, dear? Yes, very comfortable. This is David, by the way. Hi, David. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how I do a healing. Now a healing could probably could be 20 minutes, but it also could be an hour. There's no right or wrong time wise, because you will be guided what you actually need to do. Okay? So what I also do before I start is I call in my Seichem, my Reiki guides, and I also call in the guides of the client also. Yeah. So this is what I do when I start. No, that's right. No, yeah, that's right. I want you to see that I've put my hands. Now I can feel the energy coming out of my hands now. I could really feel it coming out here. So, and that's before I've even done anything here, because I've called in the Reiki guides. So hence why the healings. And sometimes, well, as soon as the client comes to the door, my hands, the energy comes out, starts to come out of my hands. Or I could be in a line in the shopping line waiting to get served, and my hands will start going, and I feel the person next to me needs healing. Obviously we can't go and put our hands on people, but that's just how mine goes. So basically what I do is I then put the shukre symbol, but I say the shukre 3 times in that hand, and then shukre 3 times in that hand. However, I'm saying the shukre to myself, not to the client. The client doesn't know I'm doing that. It's all to myself. Okay? So then what I do is I get the client to take a nice big deep breath in and out. Come in again. So then what we do is I then hold on. I open the third eye, so I put my hand on the third eye here, and I put my finger on the third eye here, my finger on the crown chakra. So we are opening up those energy centers, and I get the client to breathe in again and out, and breathe in and out, breathe in and out. And you can actually feel when the energy centers are opened up, because I actually feel the vibration of that. So I know now that that's us, we're opened up here. So then what I do is I then, obviously, I've got my symbols, so I open that up. Then I sit, and hopefully you can see me. That's it, yeah. So then I put my hands, that's right. So then I would put my hands up like so. Now, I sometimes take the client through a meditation. I'm not going to do that today. I'll just allow them, or I sometimes put a meditation on for them to do. It's just all dependent what actually I need to do. So basically, I'm sitting here. How long I stay on the head is dependent on how long that client needs for me to stay on the head. Sometimes I could be here for a few moments, sometimes I could be here for 15-20 minutes at the head. It really all dependent on what the client needs. Yeah? So, and I could feel that David needs me to stay here for a wee bit here, because I can feel his energy like a prickle. He in my palms of my hands. Now, when you feel a prickle of heat, like pins and needles, you can describe it. That is deep-rooted anger that's in there. Sometimes the client doesn't even know it's there, but that's generally what's happening there. Is when your hands are prickled, pins and needles, and you can feel it. It's all over your palm like that. So it's my job to safely just let some of that out without it actually impinging on David, without getting him angry or anything like that. But that just tells me that we need to do work there for that deep-rooted anger. And that can go back a long time ago and back into a past life even. So then what I do is I put my hands at the side of his ears, and again I can still feel the pins and needles in my palms of my hands. So that definitely tells me that there is deep-rooted anger. Okay. So again, you would stay here until you feel some of that pins and needles are going. Sometimes it would just keep going, yeah. But you'll know intuitively. You will know intuitively when to move, yeah. So then we put the hands like so. And then what I do is I put my hands one at the crown and one above. Now you notice I'm not touching the client. We don't touch the client. So I've got a hand here and a hand over the third eye. Now the pins and needles are starting to subside slightly. They're still there, but they're starting to subside. Now, usually when you start going into the third eye, when this is quite strong, a warm feeling I'm getting. So that tells me there's probably fire, so there's blockages going on there. So that tells me that we're unblocking something here for David, or rebalancing something here. And if David starts to snore, that means he's been knocked out by the Seichem energy, which is good. Because it doesn't matter if the client is awake or asleep, they still get what they need. So just remember that. Yeah? And always have soft music in the background playing as well, because that actually helps the client to relax also. And all the time you're just making sure that they're comfortable. And you'll know this because the client will move. You know, you can tell if they've got a sore back, or if they're sore knees or things like that. They'll start to move them. So you just make sure they're always comfortable. And then I come back to the ears again, just to see. Now, me coming back to the ears, now that was really pins and needles, quite a lot there. Now that's actually subsided. There's still some there, but nothing like what it was. So that tells me it's working. That's how quickly it can go. It's smoothed out a bit. As I say, it's still there slightly, but it's smoothed out a bit. And sometimes when you just start working on the head, the client just gets knocked out. They just fall asleep. So they'll start snoring, or sometimes even start talking, especially if they talk in their sleep. Very rare that that happens, though, to be honest. So then we go there. And then what to do is then we go to the throat. So I put my fingers like so. So I put my fingers together like so, and I go over into the throat. And I know David's away to fall asleep here. We don't want him falling asleep here because he'll start snoring. So I'm going to keep tapping him so that he doesn't fall asleep, because he gets knocked out with this. So that is how you do the hands. That's right. And then we stand up, and then we come round the body, and then we go to the heart. Now, how I place my hands is I place my hands, you can do it like so. So your hands are together, or you can do it either hands, like so. I place mine together because it's more powerful, I think. So I'm over the heart area, and anything he needs. Now, sometimes when I'm doing a Seichem or Reiki healing, sometimes I feel as if my hand's getting put to where it needs to go by my guides. It's a strange feeling, but you just go with it. Just because they're guiding you where you need to go. Yeah. So basically what you're doing is you're going all around, all down the energy centres, and it's the 7 main energy centres. So then we've got the solar plexus. Now, generally I stay a wee bit longer than what I'm doing here. This is just really for the purpose of the video, that I'm not as long as what I would generally be. And then we've got the solar plexus. And the solar plexus, sometimes what I do is I imagine the colour that represents those energy centres. So if I feel there's a bit of a blockage there, and usually you'll be able to tell if there's a blockage. You know, you feel it in your hands or you feel it in your body. In my body I feel it, and hands actually. And then we'll go to the solar plexus. And sometimes I feel, yeah, see he's away, so his body's starting to jerk there because he's dipping into his subconscious mind. Right? And sometimes you also get jerks if there's the guides are removing things from the body that need to be removed. Balancing the energy out. And then we go into the root, which is at the groin. Sometimes when you're working with men or with young boys, sometimes they can get a bit aroused here with the vibration. Especially young children can. It's just normal. You just don't let on that that's happening. You know, you just don't say it. But you can. That can happen, and it's just because of the vibration, what's happening at this centre. And then we would go to the feet, to the and put it out for me. Yeah, that's right. See, he's away, he's gone. So now what we want to do is we want to go out. That's right, all the way, all the way, all the way. Yeah. And so that's the only place in the body that I touch when I do a healing is the knees, because it grounds them, and the feet. And knees generally represent relationships with female and male. Usually mum, dad, grandparents, kids. Family oriented. You can always tell if there's a blockage or if somebody's had a problem with their relatives by the knees. And then we go down to the feet. There we go. You can see me now. So we've got the foot, we've got the one hand goes under the sole of the foot, and the other hand goes on top of the foot. Now you can do both feet at the one time or one foot. I prefer to do one foot, yeah, at a time. Now sometimes because of the way I work with energy, sometimes I burp if there needs to be a release and I feel like I want to burp here. I'm not going to do it for camera's sake, but that's how I'm feeling because there's a release that needs to be done here. And then the other one. Again, I would stay longer if it was an actual healing, but for the video purposes, this is what I would be doing. I've speeded it up a bit here. And then you would just call in the guides. Okay. So go from there, then I go back to the root. So I've got my hand above the root because now we need to balance them all up and one at the crown. So and you know your hands will be able to tell you, or your body will tell you when you feel that's balanced. Sometimes you can't do that in one session, so they have to come back. But majority of times you can. And then you would go to the sacral, the third eye. And then you go to the throat, solar plexus. And then you go to the heart. You always finish at the heart. Okay, so then what I do after I've done that, so I've balanced all that up, I then just connect with his head and his heart. So I've just basically got them. Breathe in, and then the symbols will come to me where I need to give. or sometimes I just sit there, stand here and just ask the guides just to give me the symbols needed. I always start with Shukre, so I always put them with your fingers stabbed in the air, Shukre, Shukre, and I say it to myself, remember, I'm just saying this out loud here for you to see, Shukre, Shukre, and then dip them in the middle point. So Shukre, 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 dip, then hearth. Now this is for David, this wouldn't be for everyone. You would tune in and you would say hearth, 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 Zona. And Zona, as you know, is past life issues, so we'd say that, you would say Zona, Zona, Zona. And I'm getting Mara, so we get Mara, we do Mara, Mara. And now remember, for the density and the strength of it, I pinpoint my hands, you know, so they're together. I don't go like this, what have you, I do it like so, yeah? So we've done Mara. Mara's for grounding, and it's also for affluence, prosperity. And what else? That's it. So then we will go finish it with Shukre, 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 and remember the Shukre goes out the way this time. So you could feel the actual, and I always close my eyes because I think when you close your eyes you go into what you're doing and you can see what you're doing. And these the symbols, you can feel them. Yeah, the symbols will feel different for each person that you do. And then what I do is I lay them on the body. Yeah. Now the client doesn't know you're doing any of that, because obviously what's happening with the client is they're usually away. They're gone. They're unconscious. They're really enjoying the relaxation and what have you. And then what happens is once I've put the symbols on, sometimes what I find when I do a client, I maybe have to do some psychic surgery, or I maybe have to do an extraction, or I maybe have to do what's the other, maybe I have to do a soul retrieval or a power retrieval or something like that. There'll be other videos there to show you how to do all that when you do. Now you'll be given guidance from you guys to tell you what you need. I haven't needed to do anything like that because I just wanted to show you the basic Seichem Reiki healing that I'm doing. So you put your symbols in, and then you imagine that you have the red. Now you can do it anyway, red or gold. I'm not particular in that. Some say you've got to do it red, some say you've got to do it gold. I do what's best for the client. So sometimes I could do red, sometimes it could be gold, sometimes I maybe even put a white over. It depends on what the client needs. But anyway, for Dave we're going to put red. So what I do when I put in the red over is as if I'm bringing it round. Yeah? So we're going right round the body, and I know my guides are putting that red all the way down, so it's a protection. And then we come round like so, yeah. And then with the gold, we put the gold over, yeah. Then we come round the body right the way down, always cross, because that means it's been it's sealed. And then we put the gold all the way down here, and again cross it. Okay, so that's what we do there. Then we come back. That's a full healing done, just about. We come back, we put our finger on here, our finger on the third eye, the finger on the crown, because now we're going to close it. Because you start with that and you close it. We ask the client. Now, when we do this, sometimes if I've felt I've went a wee bit quick before we do this, sometimes I'll just come back to the head and work on the head. If I felt the head needed a lot, and I felt maybe sometimes the head that needs a wee bit more at the head, I'll do that. You know, I just don't finish here. If I feel there's more needed here, I'll do it, whatever's needed. But to finish it anyway, I'll put my finger on here, the third eye, and the crown chakra, And in my head, I'm asking my guides to close this up. I ask the client to take a nice big deep breath in. Now he's away now, see, so we need to wake him up. So, David, take a nice big deep breath in. That's right. And out. Nice big deep breath in again. And out. Now, if you notice, I've been trying to keep David, and I've been talking all the way through this, and you've seen how he was knocked out there. He was gone. Yeah? Most of your clients will be like that. You'll see they hear them snoring, sometimes they're slavering. You know, it's working. If that's thing. Some clients won't. Some clients are just enjoy the relaxation of the dip in and out. Is all you can say. So when you've done that, you're finished. I always bring my hands to so my thumbs are in my breastbone into my heart chakra. I always do the prayer thing, and I always ask the guides, or thank the guides, sorry, for this healing. And I always bow to the guides, always, because remember, although you're the vessel doing the healing, it's the guides that are doing the healing. Never ever forget that it's the guides that are, you're the hollow bone. They're bringing the energy into you for you to do this. Yeah? So, now I think what we'll do is, as I say, there will be more videos.